Hey everybody, welcome to the first of a couple of videos I'm doing for the Cape Town Music Academy. And one of the first things I like to always discuss with my students is the idea of understanding your instrument and all the parts that it does, whether it's bass or drums or keys or whatever. So I happen to be a bass player today, so understanding your bass, I mean, there are millions of different varieties and brands and styles of basses, but they all kind of do the same thing. There's basically a guitar body, the big bit. There's a guitar neck, the next bit, headstock. So quickly to go through everything, on the headstock you've got tuning posts, tuning pegs, machine head sometimes they're called, and that's to be able to tune the pitch of your string, so to make it in tune as such. Then you've got your guitar neck, which is usually made of two different kinds of woods. You'll see there's a darker wood and a lighter wood. Sometimes it's the same wood. The back part's the neck, the top part is called the fingerboard, and on the fingerboard you've got frets, which are the wires that make the notes, I suppose. At the start of the neck you've got what is known as the nut, so it lifts the strings, otherwise it would be completely against the fretboard and wouldn't make a sound. Within the neck itself you've got a rod, a long metal pole, which is used, it's called the truss rod, and it's used to make your neck flat or concave. So you can't see it because it's so slight, but there is a slight dip in the neck, or it's completely flat. It depends on what you prefer. Then as far as the body goes, you've got a couple of things. One are pickups, and they come in a variety of shapes and sizes. They're passive or active. Then you've got the bridge, which is made up of other parts, which is basically like a L bracket type shape, and they come in different shapes and sizes as well. Then you've got saddles, which are the things that the strings rest on, and the saddles have two parts. They've got feet that help raise or lower the string height, which is also known as the action. Then you have the screw in the back, which is to help set the intonation of the guitar, which is basically a way of saying helping the guitar to play in tune with itself. So even if you tune up 100%, and if the strings are not intoned, so basically you're setting the length of the string, but in like a very micro way, not as macro, let's say, as you would with a tuning peg. It's the guitar's ability to be in tune with itself, so that whether you play an E here, or an E there, or an E there, or an E there, it's always in tune with itself. I haven't even tuned this guitar yet this morning, so I'm taking a bit of a gamble. It's okay, we'll live. But basically that's what that does. Then there are varying kinds of preamps and audio controls, and there's such a variety. Like Fender basses only come with volume tones, so not much option. But even just volume is quite a big thing. You've heard people talk about passive and active basses. So you'll see on the back there's a compartment. And that is to install two 9-volt batteries. So this guitar is an active guitar, meaning that there's a preamp that can help shape your tone, built into the guitar, instead of having to use a little preamp to go to an amp, or the amp itself, which is really a preamp and then a speaker. So this guitar, which is a Sire guitar, is pretty easily one of the best guitars I've ever owned, because it's got so many tonal options. I mean, this is just completely open and flat. There's also Mark bass amp, completely flat, definitely the best amp I've ever played. So even if you just pick up select, which is the equivalent of what a Fender volume, and then there's a tone dial, which I never use, basically opens or kind of seals the tone a little. Then just looking at these three parts here, you've got, if I put it on, you can add treble, mid-range, and bass. So I always recommend spend some time with the guitar, set it up, clean it up. It's worth the effort. You get to learn what every guitar's habit is like, and just spend more time with your gear. Cool.